Welcome to this channel where we give now Bunge update on waiting they happen for Biafran territory. This thing they happen for Igbo land, but I don't know waiting the cause am. I will make you drop your comment because we got talk to ourselves.
Hey, wahala, oh, it dey happen here live and direct. See, I dey here live and direct. I see this one when I dey alive. Thank God, though. Person use cow 500 million, Rolls Royce. 9 person use they sell plantain for market. I don't die. Not what we no go see for this Nigeria. Cow, see car, see as e clean. No be say something do am. 9 person use come market they sell plantain. Oh more something I never see me. Chineke me, Sika. 500 million naira Rolls Royce. 9 person use it, even knack bell. This one tire me, this one tire me. So and people they even they gather they buy them. You will want go kill your mama. Can you imagine? See am. No hurry in life. Cow 500 million. Omo, Kanayo, them must see this one. It shocked me. See people they gather, they buy plantain. Hey, and I sure say no African president get this car. Even if they get them, na thief, they thief the money. They thief the money from the poor masses. 9 person single-handedly buy with the money, carry and come market, they sell plantain. Hey, I pity people wey wan kpai their mama. Some boys don't kpai their mama, kpai their papa. Just they do ritual up and down. They carry different type of juju just to buy Rolls Royce. See, open your eye, person use them, they sell plantain.
Now welcome back. This kid of a thing don't want turn to another thing. Now why I won't make we caution our people with this kind of skits we they always do. London boy and in lawyer talk say they could become the zoological president. Make na listen.
First and foremost, I accepted Muslim Christian ticket. I campaigned for a Muslim, a northern Muslim, when it was even unpopular to do it in my place. And I have done it twice.
With President Buhari?
Musa Yaradua, President Buhari. These are Muslims from the north, from the Sharia compliant states. I have no regrets. Most of my political friends are Muslims. So when you go Muslim ticket, I rejected it because it's unconstitutional.
What part of the Constitution is this?
We are talking about Section 14. We are talking about the Constitution says the composition of any government and the conduct of its affairs must be done in such a manner as to recognize the federal character. You must recognize the diversity of your country. It's Section 14, 3 and 4. And he said, the reason is this, by the Constitution, so that your government can command national loyalty and give everybody a sense of belonging. You know the truth. The people that are suffering most in this government today are Muslims. So what has the Muslim ticket benefited them? It was a political strategy. It was not a religious strategy.
But it worked.
It failed.
Because they won the election.
Through technical glitch.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that technical glitch glitched the original election. And by 4:30 a.m. when people were asleep, they gave us results that emanated from technical glitch. They failed.
But those who believe that your position as to who won the election was wrong, legally
religion
and procedurally. INEC declared the person who won the election. The court, at 2 different occasions, declared that Bola Tinubu and the APC won the election, but you don't believe it.
Right. I was in the Court of Appeal. The first orders we asked the Court of Appeal to give to us was an order that INEC should allow us to inspect the beavers. 3 orders. INEC obeyed none of it. And yet INEC went to the same court and told the court to give them order to reconfigure the beavers before we inspected it. And the court did nothing. And then when we proceeded in the hearing of the case, the court now said we had 21 days to produce every evidence which INEC refused to give us. And then they say subpoena witnesses cannot come to give witness, they cannot come to give evidence after 21 days. 176,000 polling units. They say we should prove it polling unit by polling unit. And you have 3 weeks.
Is that not the position of the law?
I disagreed with them because from the law I read, it couldn't have been the position. Because you are dealing with an adversary who you say did something wrong. The adversary has interest in hiding information from you. And then you, the court, you're saying, if he can hide this information and this evidence from you for 21 days, your case is dead. It couldn't have been the intendment of the law.
But the court says that, I mean, for you, you are claiming and alleging that there is no substantial compliance with the electoral law.
Oh, yes.
And the law says you must prove beyond reasonable doubt.
The law is very clear on electronic transmission. Now, let me tell you the rule of law. In one case, Miscellaneous Offences Tribunal versus Okorafor, they defined rule of law as doing everything according to the law and making sure the government actions are done according to the law. And that case excluded discretionary powers and arbitrary powers of government. And you know what the courts ruled? They said INEC had the discretion to choose whether they would transmit electronically or not. That is tangentially against even the fundamental definition of rule of law. No creature of law is allowed to use arbitrary power or discretionary power to do anything. That's against rule of law, because the definition of rule of law is that everything must be done according to law. And the law is very clear. You must transmit electronically. Section 65 is there. Then, if you don't want to say Section 65 because they don't use certain words, what about Section 64?
Mr. Okonkwo, what is the standard of proof in an election matter?
Election matters are sui generis. The standard of proof is balance of probability because it's a civil proceeding. However, if you are alleging any offense within the criminal proceeding by the Evidence Act, the standard of proof of that particular allegation, which is tainted with crime, must be beyond reasonable doubt. So these are two different things.
So I'm asking, the reason why I asked for the standard of proof in this matter, which is civil in nature, of course, when you say that people have manipulated the process, you're talking a criminal dimension into what is generally a civil situation. But the question is that those who believe that the lawyers in the Peter Obi matter did not do justice in trying as much as possible to tell the court that the election was rigged.
Now,
and that those who say the lawyers should blame themselves and not blame the process of the law.
No. The process of the law is very clear. The court told you that INEC has discretion. Where is it in the law? And I'm saying it is fundamentally wrong because that goes against the judgment of Supreme Court, against what rule of law has defined itself as. I told you that rule of law rules out discretionary powers. And INEC is a creation of the law. INEC itself made rules and regulation and say they must transmit electronically. After that 2023 election, I watched your program and you were asking some of the electoral officers, because you wanted yourself to know what is the position of the law. Are you going to transmit electronically? And they say yes. They will transmit electronically. That is the position of the law. In your program. Meanwhile, the court said no, that's not the position of the law. Because they have a discretion to do whatever they like. Can you imagine? And the Supreme Court supported it. I disagree with that. And I will continue to disagree with that perpetually. Because it's a destruction of rule of law. INEC is the creation of the law. And INEC must do all its work according to the law. A creation of law is telling you what the law is. And you, the court, is saying no, that's not the law. Is that not ridiculous?
Now, those who believe that the elections are over, the winner has been declared, the losers have been declared. Is it possible that Kenneth Okonkwo move on from this?
Why not?
Have you moved on?
I have not moved on because you have not moved on. Why did you ask me?
Because of your belief and your standpoint.
Good.
Which may need some clarity. And that's why I'm asking you.
That's why I clarify. So if you move on, I will move on.
Have you accepted that Bola Tinubu is Nigeria's president?
I've been asked this thing before. The Supreme Court is the final court of the land. I said the judgment of the Supreme Court has bestowed constitutionality on his regime, but not democracy. Democracy is the government of the people. The power must verifiably flow from the people. I have not been convinced that his power flew from the people, because the people have not been told, according to the Electoral Act, Section 62, they've not been given their results polling unit by polling unit and tabulated and calculated and answer given. If you have seen such, please let me know. I have not. And in mathematics, if you go straight to quote the answer without the formula, they will tell you probably you stole it. So if you have seen the formula with which they arrived at that conclusion, you as a journalist, polling unit by polling unit, I will be willing to cross-check it.
The judiciary,
when we went to
Mr. Okonkwo.
when we went to court, by the IREF portal, we were able to calculate to show that we won the election in Benue and we won the election in Rivers. But they said no, it's not admissible because it came by a subpoena witness, which brought his evidence after the 21 days. So sorry.
The judiciary is a leg in our democratic process. So
Yes,
if the judiciary says President Tinubu is the president,
That is why he's answering president.
yeah, but do you see him as your president though?
I wouldn't know what you're saying. I said the Supreme Court is the final court. The first statement I made was that I disagree with the Supreme Court, but because I'm a Democrat, I accept the judgment. That is the judgment the Supreme Court said. And that is what I accepted.
But will you be willing, for example, not
Yes.
because you're you're a Nigerian,
Yes.
and you said you have accepted this, are you willing to move on and perhaps in some way help this government to succeed?
Very well.
If you are called today
Yes.
by the government of the day to work with them,
Yes.
would you take it?
Criticizing the government constructively is part of helping them.
But if
And
you are
what I am
actively
doing.
called to
Yes.
play a role and an announcement is made
Yes.
that Kenneth Okonkwo is taking this role in this government, would you take it?
I am enjoying the role I'm playing now,
So you will not take
which
it.
is to critically analyze whatever they are doing and proffer solutions.
So well, you will not take any role
My preference is what I am doing now,
to be a critic.
to be an opposition leader. So that's the job of the opposition leader.
So, but for the sake of the nation, would you be willing to work with this government?
I think the government needs more me. They need me. The government needs me more as an opposition leader.
Do you have a feeling that in some way that Nigeria is headed in the right direction under this government in the last 9 months?
Anarchy looms
Where?
in Nigeria.
How do you mean?
Kenneth Okonkwo no go keep person with this all in drama. Anarchy never start until Biafra go come. Na in that anarchy go end for that zoo. Na Biafra or Biafra for this matter, me I go raise my case now. Thank you.